What's up, party people? This is Jude Snowboarder here, and someone just asked a question on one of the groups I'm an admin on, and I wrote a long response, and I thought it'd be good to do a video so I can use this video for future people that ask it. Basically, it's why are the prices on this group of a 9.8 book, or whatever grade, higher than what you can find on eBay? Now, for one, I kind of find that hard to be true. But before we get to that, it's very, very hard for comic book store owners to price all their books. You know, we go give a price for 5,000 books, whether we're a private collector, whether we're a store, whether we're a dealer, whatever, because we're all the same. We just might have different niches or different focuses, but we just buy and sell books. Some of us are collectors, some of us need the profit to survive, some of us there's a combination. But if we're pricing hundreds of books, even forget about thousands of books, in the recent market, the last 4 or 5 years, prices are changing like within weeks, and people don't want a 90-day moving average for fair market value. They want last price. So at least in a down market, you want the last price, which is the cheapest, and you don't care about what the 90-day average is because that's probably much higher than the last price. So we can't keep up with the prices. We price it today based on the information we have today, then we move on, price some other books, and that price becomes obsolete if a whole bunch of auctions happen, or if a whole bunch of people just need the books gone because they need to pay rent, or whatever. The price is dropping. It's been dropping quickly in the last 2 years. So you don't get mad at sellers if the prices on the books seem too high. I mean, move along if you're not interested. If you think it's a good group, or if you think it's a good seller that will ship well and be honest and have a better quality of service than what you can find maybe on eBay or my comic shop, reach out to them. Reach out to them and say, hey, I can get this book on eBay. Now, you have to add in tax and shipping, so don't try to say it's a $100 book when they have $25 of shipping and $6 of tax. Well, a $100 book, when someone blows up shipping for $25 because they have know what they're doing, that's a $132 book. So if they're selling it for $125 shipped, they've beat the eBay price of $100. So you got to do the math, of course, for the total cost of the book. But if you offer that to someone, most dealers would be glad that you're coming to them and saying, hey, would you be willing to beat the eBay price here? And they might look at the eBay price and it might have a cracked one. Theirs might be a custom label and the one online might not. So there might be subtle changes. But for the most part, if it's one for one, I think most people would be happy to beat it and be happy that you came to them. Now, if you're coming to a seller and you ask them to beat this and they tell you to go pound sand or they're rude, that's a sign of that seller. And I can't say anything about that. I mean, just avoid that seller. Block them if you don't want to deal with them. It's very easy to block people on Facebook. You don't need to be friends with everybody. You don't need to troll them and try to smash their reputation publicly. Just block them and you'll never see them again. You won't have to deal with it again if they've given you some impression that that's not the kind of person you want to deal with. What I find more interesting than that is someone wants, let's say they have Go Collect or Cover Price or GPA, and that creates a 90-day average. The problem is there's a difference between auction prices and buy it now prices. That's why you see on the graphs, high is buy it now, auction. High is buy it now, low point is auction. That's what you see across the board. Just look at GPA. Auction price, buy it now. Auction price, buy it now. And that's great. You want to buy it now, but you don't want to do the work to go get a deal for an auction. Some buyers love the hunt. They want to stay in front of auctions. I spend about 5 hours a day in front of auctions looking for deals. And they, many times, are reported and affect the fair market value. And then when I sell a book, it's not going to be an auction price. So if someone wants an auction price, which is the low prices on that are reported, then you need to spend the time. Now, if you want to ask someone if they want to beat it, someone might be willing to beat it, but there's a big difference between buy it now prices and auction prices. And most people in the industry understand that. If you're relatively new or don't understand statistics, or if you haven't seen the graphs on how these prices have flowed the last few years, then you may think, hey, the average says 100, so that's fair market value. Well, they take that from an average. So auction prices might be 80, buy it now prices might be 20, and it averages out to 100. So no one's selling for 100 though. The buy it nows are 120 on average, and the auctions are going to be 80 on average. So there's a lot of work to do auctions. And for someone to say, well, I want to buy it now, but I'm not willing to follow an auction, I want you to meet that price. It's a fair question, but a lot of dealers may not want to do that. If they wanted to sell at auction because they were desperate for cash and they just wanted to get, the quick sale, maybe liquidate some inventory right away, then they would go sell it at an auction. All of us sellers have to decide, do we want auctions? Do we want to sell it, buy it now? You can do auctions on Facebook. You can do auctions on eBay. There's all kinds of places that are doing auctions now. What's that short? Was it short? I can't remember the name of the app, but it's that black box right there, the Short Box app. They're doing auctions now. So if people want to sell auctions, they'll do that. But if they're putting up for buy it now prices, that means they're not looking for just whoever's willing to pay the most in the next 7 days, because that's what an auction is. It's not in front of everybody. And so there's a completely different world for auctions versus buy it now. And I hope that helps. But you should be able to go to any seller and say, hey, can you beat this active price? Now, if someone bought it for a steal on an auction 3 weeks ago and you want someone to beat that, I mean, you can ask, but they might say no, and then, okay, you move on. But don't get so dogmatic about these prices that are reported from Cover Price, Go Collect, and GPA, because they all use different formulas. Some of them weigh more recent sales more heavily. Some of them don't. Some of them have a 90-day average. Some of them have a 70-day average or a 60-day average. And then the weights they provide weightings to the prices. So whatever number that auto software calculates is a good estimation. But go search online, and if you can find it for less, either get the less route or offer someone online if they can beat that. And I would think most sellers are happy to beat it if you're coming to them. Anyways, hope this helps for someone who's not aware of that. Hope this encourages buyers that might not understand the varying differences in prices available from buy it now versus auction versus fair market value versus eBay. Anyways, happy hunting, guys. Enjoy.